She made explicitly clear and potent to us through the absolute witchery of her stagecraft. She was also a pioneer of her heroic staunchness, and she was a success all over America, all over the world. But wherever she went, in the United States, she found it going very rough.
I think what's important to keep in mind is that even though she did escape much of the segregation, right, so she didn't have to necessarily perform to segregated crowds in the same way, right, those narrow, sexual, savage sorts of ideas remained, right, and so in a way she still was working within the confines of the perceptions of women of color.
When we walk down the street, he never holds my hand. He says one day that he will marry me, but he tells his friends that that will never be.
I think with Tina Turner's career, it's the longevity that is so impressive. And actually similar to Effie, there are many junctures where she could have stopped and we would have understood. Maybe we wouldn't have even known the full story, right? She could have stayed a backup singer. She could have stayed connected in an abusive relationship, right? Many people make those choices, right? But she went beyond, she persevered, she kept going and had a career that spanned so many decades.
Catherine led the way. Oh, she's given much to her people, but she's given so much more to us, the others, all the other artists in every field, because she's told us what art really is. Communication, the direct speech from the heart that goes way beyond reason.
I think Effie symbolizes perseverance and tenacity and not settling. So there's many points in her character where you could see her giving up, and you might understand, right, where she's relegated to backup dancer. You know, she's a little bit too dark, a little bit too heavy, sings a little bit too full or gospel, right? And there are lots of ways that she gets marginalized, and so she could have, stormed off and left, and at one point she does, right? But she comes back, and so I think she represents empowerment, perseverance, strength.
Effie was a little sassy though too. So I mean, that's again threatening. So sometimes sass can be interpreted in a different way or misinterpreted. So Effie got what she needed at the end, but perhaps that wasn't her time. It all worked out in the end, but I do believe that your appearance has something to do with your success, but maybe if she had the success then, she wouldn't have been as powerful later.
that just reminds me that we all have stories, right? We all have struggles, and how, in a way, it does a disservice for us to not allow or even to be interested in the depth of someone and only interested in one slice of them in a very narrow way.
There's still light at the end of the tunnel. You know, even when you're going through something, when the people around you are going through something, when you don't want to continue, if you keep going. Effie kept going. Jennifer Holliday, even to this day as a person, the real Jennifer Holliday kept going. She will not let us forget her. That's powerful. We can't forget her. We can't forget Effie. She is Effie. We'll never forget Tina Turner. All these women who've made these accomplishments throughout the years, we're a witness to their lives. And that's a blessing because they are examples for us. And so anybody watching this clip or going to see the play Dreamgirls, if they just take away with it that this is a part of our African American culture, and then as a whole for the human nature, humankind as a whole, just to keep going.